We have other Kamala endorsements. This one's not a surprise whatsoever. This is the guy who said that women should rule the world.
Isn't it just time for women to run the planet? I mean, because we, men, we've been running the show since what, 10,000 BC? Something like that? And we're not doing so good. So, please, can you guys just take over?
And if they did, there would essentially be no wars, no chaos, which is so hilarious, given that he's endorsing Kamala Harris. He also came out with a pro-trans documentary not too long ago on Netflix titled Will and Harper. It's Will Ferrell.
I'm just one person? No. Shut the up, Gary. Last time, only a few thousand votes kept Trump out of office. And this time, we will hold you personally responsible, Gary. Don't forget to vote, Gary.
I love that. Oh my gosh, a veiled threat to make somebody support your candidate. No worries, like you've been holding white men named Gary personally responsible for every peril you've faced your entire life. That is essentially what the left does. I don't think we run short on white people being blamed for America's problems. I don't know what they're going to do if Kamala Harris actually does become president and they figure out that she is going to be the one who ushers in their problems. I guess they'll look to the white guy next to her in Tim Walz and maybe blame him. Too bad his name isn't Gary. This sort of political posturing, I just don't know who's watching it and saying like, this is the one. Let's green light this ad campaign. I have not seen a single ad from the Kamala Harris campaign that I feel like is in any way, shape, or form effective. With Will Ferrell, it was let's blame men and say we're gonna hold them personally accountable if they don't vote for Kamala. With Julia Roberts, she said that women only have a right to choose when it comes to the ballot box in voting, claiming that women are so oppressed in this country. To get out the vote for men, they had a bunch of like leftist cosplay masculinity and tell men that they're masculine if they vote for Kamala Harris. For black people, they did the little pop the balloon video that, oh, we know those black people love, and essentially told them that women won't want to date you if you don't vote, so vote for Harris Walz. Who is behind the ads for the Kamala Harris campaign? Please, I invite you on the show. I just want to talk. I just want to have a conversation. Maybe we can workshop some better ideas, but still, she seems to be a very effective candidate. And it's just because people are so willing to just cover up the things that they're seeing and I guess project onto her their own reality of who she is and who they want her to be rather than what she actually is. And it's very similar to what we saw with Joe Biden. Like you're clearly seeing this senile, late stage dementia, elderly patient essentially claiming to run this country, but people are just projecting what they want him to be onto him and covering up the things that they're actually seeing. That's what Will Ferrell's doing, and apparently he's going to hold you personally accountable if you are a white man who doesn't vote for her. So Taylor, Will Ferrell's coming for you.
I'm rushing to the polls to avoid the scorn of Will Ferrell because of that. No, this is entirely ineffective, and it just demonstrates again that they don't understand men. Men respond to respect, and the way they don't respond to pandering, and they don't respond to being talked down to. And I feel like that's a lot what comes across in this ad, and a lot of the Harris messaging is either this totally out of touch sort of pandering, or this kind of lecturing, like we saw Obama talking down to black men, saying, the brothers aren't showing up at the polls because they're, have some latent misogyny that's preventing them from voting for women. It's not that. It's just that maybe they have some common sense and they don't like the way that they're being communicated to by this campaign, and they don't like the way that they've been demonized under the leadership of leftist orthodoxy over the last several years. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, men just want to be left alone. And they want to be given space to do what they want to do and pursue what they want to pursue. And they will probably support someone who is going to create an environment where that's going to be okay. But when you have this sort of finger wagging at men and you have this sort of disrespectful tone, and what you're encouraging them to do is sort of this self-debasing thing, like Will Ferrell saying, it's if women were in charge, then we wouldn't have all these wars. And you're trotting Tim Walz out there, like pretend like he can load a gun and just kind of making a fool of himself and calling himself a knucklehead. It's like, bro, men respond to strength and
Yep.
respect, and these guys are not projecting strength and they're not showing any respect. And I think that's why this campaign is struggling so much with men.
Yeah, I think so. And I guess Will Ferrell decided to do another stop for the Kamala Harris campaign. He decided to work with Billy Eichner. Billy on the Street, if you're unfamiliar, he's a comedian. He goes on the streets of New York and essentially screams in people's faces and gets funny reactions and blah, blah, blah. So they did a loud white men for Kamala video where they go around and do this whole bit of screaming at people in the street. Here's how that went.
Back on the street with the one and only Will Ferrell. And we are out here today to represent a very important voting demographic, loud white men for Kamala Harris. So you ready, Will? Ah! Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Join the call!
Hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, who are you voting for?
Kamala Harris.
Yes, exactly. Have you voted yet?
Mail-in ballot.
Oh, mail-in ballot, bitch! Miss, for $1, would you have sex with a Trump voter?
No.
Thank you. Sir, we're loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yes.
Yes,
I support Kamala.
Yes, that's not that loud, but louder?
Oh, louder.
Yes.
I support Kamala.
Louder!
I support Kamala.
Yeah! Miss, did you hear if Kamala wins, she's gonna make Buddy the Elf Secretary of Christmas?
That would be phenomenal.
Would you have sex with a Trump voter?
Ugh.
Oh, okay, thank you. Sir,
It actually sounds like exactly something that Kamala Harris would do is create a Secretary of Christmas and spend your tax dollars on hiring somebody like Buddy the Elf to do that. Which is what they've done during this administration. If you're unfamiliar, there's something called the Hip Hop Task Force. You can actually Google this and look it up. You have your representatives being paid to talk about hip hop music as a means of connecting communities together and discussing issues. The Hip Hop Task Force. So a Secretary of Christmas is really not that far out.
loud white men for Kamala. Join the call. Go Kamala! Yeah! For $1, for $1, for $1. Who are you voting for?
Kamala Harris.
Yes, there you go. Yes, yes. Okay. I have to go. Yeah.
love you.
Tell everyone in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania to vote for Kamala.
East Stroudsburg, vote for Kamala.
Please, sir. Loud white men for Kamala. Join the call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you voting for?
Kamala.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Corey.
Corey. Corey for Kamala. Hey guys.
Okay, so there you go. My first thought is I can only imagine all the people they had to edit out of this video because they probably approached them screaming in their face to vote for Kamala and they were like, no, I'm voting for Donald Trump. And I'm sure there was many an outtake from this video, but of course we're only going to play the ones that play into our side and that play into our candidate, which makes total sense. And it's just this whole thing about the Kamala Harris campaign. It's like when there's excitement, it's like this celebrity Hollywood falseness to it that is painting on this facade of being super excited about change with a candidate who's not going to bring change whatsoever. And then when you beg the campaign to be serious and to talk about the issues, they talk about issues that are far less impactful than any of the things we're actually facing in our day-to-day lives. And all of it just comes off as so insincere. And they've really lost the plot in a lot of ways, but still all the celebrities are here for them. And this is the sort of advertising that you're getting for the Kamala Harris campaign.